Does the soul exist without the body? Is the soul immortal? When a living dies, does its soul die too? Is the soul a fiction? The video series on the soul introduce some results of my journey to find out the truth regarding the above 4 questions. The contents of the video series include Western philosophy and Christianity, Eastern philosophy, and other religions such as Buddhism, and more. This video introduces the 4th part of the video series. The title of the 4th part is The Immortality of the Soul in Christianity.
From now on, I compare the Christian views of the soul with the theory of the immortality of the soul.
Plato, an ancient Greek philosopher, is said to have systematized the spiritual and physical dualism by inheriting the teaching of the immortality of the soul from his teacher, Socrates.
There are scholars who claim that Socrates was firmly established on the immortality of the soul after his trip to Egypt. Ancient Egyptians are famous for keeping corpses mummified. It is said that the reason is in case the soul returns. For this reason, some of them claim that the immortality of the soul originated in a religion of the ancient Egyptians. The spiritual and physical dualism, that is, the soul and body dualism, refers to the theory that the soul and body are separated, and that the soul persists even after the body dies. The immortality of the soul is based on the soul and body dualism, and the assertion that the soul does not die under any circumstances and exists forever. Some of the scholars who advocate the theory of the immortality of the soul claim that the theory of the immortality of the soul supports the Christian teaching of eternal life. Christianity teaches that God has promised us eternal life.
There are those who claim that the theory of the immortality of the soul was introduced into Judaism by the Hellenistic Jewish philosopher Philon, who was active in the 1st century in the Roman province of ancient Egypt. African Carthaginian Christian theologian Tertullian, who is known to use the term of Trinity for the first time, and to be the first to assert the doctrine of soul in hell, that the soul is immortal, and the soul of the wicked burns forever in the fires of hell.
Origen, who is known to have lived from 185 to 254, and served as the principal of Alexandria Theological Seminary in Alexandria, ancient Egypt, which was the territory of the Roman Empire, is known to advocate Neoplatonism and claim that his soul is immortal. Alexandria was the 2nd largest city in the Roman Empire at that time and was said to be the center of learning.
Many Christian theologians claim that the doctrine of the immortality of the soul and the doctrine of soul in hell were firmly supported in the Church by Augustine, who lived from 354 to 430 and has been revered as a Christian saint.
It is claimed that Thomas Aquinas, a scholastic philosopher and theologian, summarized the theory of the immortality of the soul as the doctrine of the Catholic Church.
Many say that Dante's Divine Comedy, which we know well, introduces hell, purgatory, and heaven, based on the theory of the immortality of the soul.
There are many Christian theologians who claim that through these processes, the theory of the immortality of the soul was grafted onto Christianity.
Pope Leo X is known to have reigned from 1513 to 1521, and have sparked Martin Luther's Protestant Reformation by allowing the selling of indulgences. He is known to have condemned those who oppose the immortality of the soul as heretics at the Fifth Lateran Council, held at the Lateran Cathedral in Rome in 1513.
Today, the theory of the immortality of the soul is known as a core doctrine of many Christian denominations, including Roman Catholicism. A denomination that denies the immortality of the soul is often referred to as a heresy.
However, during the Middle Ages, John Wycliffe, a professor at Oxford University in England, and Martin Luther, a German Christian reformer, pointed out that the doctrine of the immortality of the soul belongs to heretical beliefs. It is known that, when the Christian Reformation began, in 1517, French theologian John Calvin, who lived from 1509 to 1564, also opposed the doctrine of the immortality of the soul.
An English biblical scholar, linguist and Protestant reformer William Tyndale stated the following in the second chapter of the fourth volume of his writing, An Answer to Sir Thomas More's Dialogue, a critique on Thomas More, who has been revered as a Catholic saint. Thomas More is destroying the argument of the resurrection of Christ and Paul by placing the departed souls in heaven, hell, or purgatory. True faith is based on the resurrection and
Book of Truth gives us the truth about the soul. These video series do not explain the content of the truth about the soul in Book of Truth. Book of Truth was written in English by Roy, and published by Great Time. If you select the books section in the US Amazon website, and type Book of Truth Roy, you will find Book of Truth, its introduction, and its book review sites. The fourth part of the 6-part Soul video series ends here.